Hi, welcome to another lecture in process control automation. This is Nagarjuna, and today's topic is syncing and sourcing. So, what is a syncing and sourcing? The syncing and sourcing is a very simple concept which explains the way of the current flow into the devices, right? So, here you can see there are two modules, that is, it can be an input or output module. Now, let's look into the input module. So, here the first diagram which indicates the syncing input. So here I want to connect a sensor to my module, and you know that sensor has two terminals. So one of the terminal is connected to the channel, so this is channel 1, and the other terminal you can see it is connected to the common, right? And here this sensor is a passive, and to this sensor there is a power supply which is connected. Now, very important thing is the terminal and the polarity. Here you can see the positive is connected to the channel and the negative is connected to the common, which means now the current is flowing in this direction. Clear? So this is, I mean, like there are some devices where it demands the flow of current in this way. Whereas in the next image you can see the same sensor, right? Now the current is flowing in a reverse direction. Previously the current flowing in this direction, and now you can see the current flowing in this direction. What is the difference in this image is just the polarity, right? So now the negative is connected to the channel and the positive is connected to the common, right? So what makes the difference in these two, right? There is a like, say for example, in the proximity there are two types of proximity. I'll show you that. Now here the NPN type and the PNP type, right? So these are the two proximity sensors, and when it comes to the functioning, both the sensors have the same property. There's no change at all, right? Now when you look at this NPN sensor, this NPN sensor is you can see there are the three terminals. So one terminal is connected to the positive supply, the power source, and the other two terminals are for the load, right? And whereas in NPN you can see the one is connected to the supply and the other two terminals are connected to the load, right? Now what's the major difference here is simple. The PNP type inductive proximity sensor will give you the positive voltage as output. The PNP will give you as a positive as an output. So here this across this terminal I can expect the positive supply. Say for example, if I'm using a 24 volts, then here I can get the positive supply, isn't it? While NPN inductive sensor will give a ground as an output signal. It gives a ground as an output signal, right? So if I use this PNP sensor, it is giving me plus 24 volts as an output, where it is suitable for syncing type. Remember, in syncing type, across the channel we are giving the positive supply, and across the common, that is, I should not say ground, actually it is a common terminal, right? So it is across the common I'm getting a across the common I'm getting a negative, right? This is suitable for syncing. Right? So whenever you are using a PNP proximity sensor, better the syncing type of connection will suits you better. Suppose instead of PNP, if you are using an NPN sensor, then NPN sensor will give you ground as an output. So it means across the terminal, it gives you the negative. It gives you negative across the channel. Whereas when it comes to the common, it gives the positive. So this is the property of NPN. And when you are using the NPN, then sourcing type is suitable. Right? So the common, if it is a negative, it is a syncing type. Common, if it is a positive, it is a sourcing type. Right? So it depends on the device. What type of device that you are making use of. right? So there are two types of devices. I have given an example, NPN and PNP. Both have the same property, but when it comes to the connection, one requires a syncing type, one requires a sourcing type. So that's what I have mentioned in this picture, right? So syncing input module, common is connected to negative and the channels are connected to positive, right? Whereas sourcing input module, the common is connected to the positive and across the channel it is connected to negative. Clear? Similarly, when it comes to the output module, you can see the sourcing output module, which means across the common it is positive, right? And whatever the supply that is going in to the module will be coming as an out, right? So inside the PLC module, there will be a TTL logic which makes the switching. Suppose if the PLC has taken a decision to make this channel 1 as an on, then whatever the supply that you have given across the common terminal will be coming as an out. So across here you will get a positive supply. Clear? And from the other side you will get a negative. So with this, now your device will work. Got the point? Same is the case with the syncing type. So in the syncing type, the common is connected to a negative, and now whatever the supply that you connect across the common terminal, again the same thing is routed out, provided if the logic says yes. I mean, if this TTL, if the channel 1 output goes high, then same goes as an out. Then here the negative and the other side is a positive, right? So with this, this device will work, right? So still, if you are confused, I'll give you one simple thing, that if in syncing, common, if it is connected to negative, I mean, you can say clearly that if the common, just look at the whether it is an input module or output module, doesn't matter, just look at the common terminal. If it is connected to the negative, then it is a syncing type. Similarly, if the common is connected to positive, then it is a sourcing type, isn't it? Now I'll give you a simple example. Now say for example, this is my input module, and the input module common, if it is connected to if this is connected to negative, then straight away I can say that this is syncing. Okay. Similarly, I have an input module, and again, if the common terminal, if it is connected to positive, then I can say this is sourcing. Okay. Same is the case with the output. Okay. Just look at the common terminal. If it is connected to negative, syncing, no doubt it's a syncing. It's a syncing type, right? And the output module, if it is connected to positive, then it is a sourcing type. Understood? So next time when you look at the configuration, just look at the common terminal. So that's very, very important. If the common is negative, syncing type. If the common is positive, then it's a sourcing type. Clear? And this syncing and sourcing concept is applicable only for discrete modules. It is applicable for discrete IO modules. Right? So in the previous lecture, we discussed about the discrete modules, analog modules, and so on. Right? So we don't follow this syncing and sourcing concept in the analog input-output modules, whereas only in discrete input-output modules we follow this concept. Right? So thank you for listening. We'll continue in the next lecture.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.